Hey everybody, welcome to TradeScope. My name is Luis Garcia and I'm a part-time trader. This is my deep dive series where I pick a stock that I've been looking at in my watch list and I take a deeper look at it with you guys. So before I get started, I have to let you know that this video is for educational purposes only and is not meant to be taken as financial advice. With all that said, let's get started. My pick for this deep dive is a low float stock called INTZ. So INTZ is a stock that popped up on my momentum scanner a few weeks ago, and I decided to build a position in it. Low price, low float. And I just wanted to kind of take a look at some of the different aspects of it. So first thing is currently trading at about $2.31, has a float of 6.16 million, so very low float, and a very high short interest. So that alone shows that some things could get spicy with this stock. Another thing to look at is its volume closing on Friday was over 3 million. So that means half the float was traded on Friday. And its relative volume is still pretty high at about 1. So that's kind of the technicals that are the basics. Also wanted to talk a little bit about what this company does. So it's a technical services company. Intrusion is the name of the company. I believe they are like a cybersecurity company, something like that. But yeah, that's kind of what they do. Not too important for our purposes, so I don't want to get too much into the weeds on that. Let's take a look at a few. Let's take a look at a few of the latest news releases. So they recently had an offering. That's an obvious one. They've had good earnings recently, so that's another good sign. And yeah, this other thing, the main thing I want to go over is the offering. So I pulled up the offering. Total of $7.5 million registered direct offering, and they have, I believe, the sale of 653,000 shares of common stock at a purchase of $3 per share, and then pre-funded warrants, about 1.8 million pre-funded warrants. Again, at the purchase price of $3 a share, so $3.05 a share. So a little bit above what it's trading at now. So with that context, let's take a look at what's been actually going on with this stock. So first things first, about at the beginning of the month, they came out with this news. So this Streeterville Capital reports a 9.8% stake in Intrusion. Let's read a little bit about this. So Streeterville Capital reported a 9.8% stake in cybersecurity company Intrusion in a securities filing Friday afternoon. Intrusion, which entered into a securities purchase agreement with Streeterville back in March 2022, has had several transactions with Streeterville this year. November and December agreements called for Streeterville to exchange Series A preferred stocks for common shares. On December 20th, Intrusion said a warrant exercise inducement program was extended from December 19th to December 27th. And you can see that's right around where this initial pop happened in the stock. So basically, Streeterville Capital has this stake in this small cybersecurity company, and they've decided to either Streeterville or other investors, institutional investors, as well as Streeterville, have decided to exercise some of their warrants. So basically, their warrants are now being cashed in for preferred stock, and that gives an injection of liquidity into the stock. And following that, we have this direct offering, which has, I believe it's been closed. I'm not sure if it's been closed, but it's about 6.5 million shares total. Or sorry, 683,000 shares, $7.5 million worth at $3.05. So basically what happened is the warrants got exercised that injected a bunch of liquidity into the market. This thing, which is what got me interested in it because I saw it on my scanners, had an increase in momentum, so it gapped up twice. You can see the gap. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Go back to the daily, get the doodle tool out. So yeah, you can see the gap started on the 27th, right after those warrants got exercised, right there, and then it continued into the 30th, right there. And the interesting thing about this is it hit a high of $7.34. I traded it that day, made a little bit of money, and then as it kind of petered out, I started to accumulate a position. And the reason I did that was because I noticed this direct offering. I noticed that it was holding this level. It was trading at less than $1 before these warrants got exercised. 60 cents was the high on December 26th. The warrants get exercised on the 27th. The high is now $2.35. So that's already, let's see, 60 cents into 240. That's about 400% increase in the stock price, and it is still holding that price. That is the interesting thing about this stock. That is what makes me interested in this stock. It is still holding that original gap, right? That original 400%. So it has this offering, still holds. I believe the offering is closed. Still holds its price. It starts to peter out. You can see that the volume has kind of died down and the momentum has started to die down, and the RSI is now finally starting to touch grass. It's coming back into right in between 20 and 80. So what I'm expecting here is that 26, 28% short interest, whatever it was. That means there's a bunch of folks here holding this thing short, right? They probably got in here. Maybe they're still holding from here, right? But my guess is they could be short from down here too, right? And they're holding, waiting for this to go back down. And the longer this doesn't go back down and this holds this warrant exercise price, which I think it will because of that injected liquidity having already been injected into the market and now still holding this price level, I think there's a good chance that we could see a short squeeze, right? As people get squeezed out of that stock, it's going to come up to this level and then potentially test this level again. And, depending on how much momentum the squeeze generates, we could see, we just don't know because it's a $6 million. It's a 6 million float stock. So with these short float stocks, with a good squeeze, these things could go 400%, 500%, 600%. That's like 6-7 times the price, right? And you saw it already happen down here, and then it happened again here, 2 days apart from each other. So that was about 400%, and then it goes from 235 to 750, so that's another 300% roughly. So that's really what I'm expecting. So I've accumulated a position. My position right now is roughly at the 450 mark. So it's right about, let me get a good, my position is right here. Right there. So that's my position. You know what? Let's make that another color so it's easier to see. We'll make that color green. So my position is sitting right here. And what I'd like to do is exit that position. I'd like to exit that position at either, I'd be happy with $5. I think it could break $5. But I'm looking really, I want to use a range to show you guys, because I think a channel is really more accurate. So I think we can really go anywhere in here, potentially, for an exit, right? And I might not get out of my position entirely. I might hold a little bit in case it goes higher, right? And if that's the case, then if it goes higher, then we'll just have to look and see, you know, where its next potential is. Because right here is 750 is one area of resistance. The next area of resistance is basically 10. And if you've been following me, you might have heard me say I typically look at $2.50. Every $2.50 is kind of a psychological resistance for traders. So you'll see at like the $5 mark, the $7.50 mark, the $10 mark is typically where you'll see areas of psychological resistance or support. And so those channels are typically where I'm looking to enter or exit positions. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for on this one too. Again, it's a bit riskier because it's a low float. It could very easily just collapse, right, under the weight of these added, these added shares, this added liquidity. But so far, there's been a lot of momentum, and it's held the volume. So I'd like to see that continue and see if there will be a breakout. You can see it's kind of tried in this area right here. It's already tried a few times to break out, right in here. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of where I'm at. And just to let you know, so my current position, I believe, is sitting around, I'm trying to think, I believe it's 1,500 shares right now at about 450. So, you know, if I can squeeze out a couple dollars in a move, then that's about a $3,000 winner. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm looking for, winners in that price range. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If INTZ is on your radar, if you've traded it in the past, what you think about it, what you think about my analysis, if you think it's all garbage, or if you agree with any of it. Let me know down in the comments, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this content. All right, talk to you guys next time.